Hello and welcome to this week's episode of MT Squared, Minerva's 2-minute tactics for your procurement, where this week I've got a whole smorgasbord of things that I want to talk to you about, but all in relation to one particular subject, and that is in respect of the supply of these items. So starting with these things, Reprographics, photocopiers, MFDs, whatever you want to call them, big problems in the supply chain with those at the moment. There was a massive fire some while back with a big factory that produced semiconductors and chips that go in all sorts of items, actually, not just photocopiers. And so there is a real problem in the supply chain at the moment. I've done 3 Reprographics projects recently, and in all 3 cases, they've been unable to meet the original delivery date of over either the summer or even October half term. In some instances, some of the providers are saying that some of the devices won't be available until May next year. So do bear that in mind if you're coming up with a Reprographics project. Just factor in that you're probably going to need to get some sort of extension from your existing provider, and that any new devices that you need are probably going to be coming in a lot later than anticipated. So that's the first thing. The second thing, people. There's a big problem with the supply of people, particularly in the hospitality industry. So if you have a catering operation in your school, which obviously you will have, but some of you will be in-house, some of you will be outsourced, big problems in finding people in the supply chain there as well. So you are going to find that you're probably going to end up with some agency staff, potentially, some gaps. I'm speaking to a lot of people who are sort of operations managers and directors in their catering companies, and they're donning their whites and getting in the kitchen because there's such an acute shortage of labour. Now, hopefully, with furlough ending at the end of September, that might ease that a little bit. But do bear that in mind as well. I know that the catering companies are working incredibly hard to source people and and to be innovative in the way they're finding people. But it is a very, very difficult market out there. Gas, obviously, you'd be completely under a rock if you haven't noticed in the news that there's a huge problem with gas prices at the moment. They are skyrocketing, suppliers are going out of business. Not so much in the wholesale market and in the markets that probably you're dealing in, so you're probably safe there. But again, if you've got your gas contracts coming up for renewal anytime soon, you're going to need to take a very sharp intake of breath because it's pretty hairy out there in regard to the pricing. And finally, back to the catering side, food. There's obviously a supply chain issue with food, not just getting the food. A lot of abattoirs are closing, so there's a concern that some foods aren't going to be available in the next few weeks, but also a lack of HGV drivers, meaning that some organisations are sending food by courier, by van, again, trying really hard to innovate and get supplies to customers where they need them. But there is going to be a problem in that area as well. So lots of things for us to all be contending with at the moment. Just wanted to give you a flavour of what's going on out there, just so that if it's happening to you, that you don't feel that it's unique or that maybe it's your supplier that's having a problem. It really is across the board in all of those areas. So hope that's helpful. Until next time, soldier on.